Can rich people be communists? Well, the answer, of course, is yes. They can be legitimate communists. Friedrich Engels was a very rich man relative for his time. Um, Here is a circular letter from Marx and Engels from 1879 addressing this. It is an inevitable manifestation, and one rooted in the process of development, that people from what have hitherto been the ruling class also join the militant proletariat and supply it with educative elements. We have already said so clearly in the manifesto, but in this context there are two observations to be made. First, if these people are to be of use to the proletarian movement, they must introduce genuinely educative elements. However, in the case of the vast majority of German bourgeois converts, this is not the case. Neither the Zukunft or the New Gesellschaft have contributed anything that might have advanced that movement by a single step. Here we find a complete lack of genuinely educative matter, either factual or theoretical. In place of it, attempts to reconcile superficially assimilated socialist ideas with the most diverse theoretical viewpoints which these gentlemen have introduced from the university or elsewhere, and of which each is more muddled than the last thanks to the process of decay taking place in what remains of German philosophy today. Instead of first making a thorough study of the new science, each man chose to adapt it to the viewpoint he had brought with him, not hesitating to produce his own brand of science and straightway assert his right to teach it. Hence there are amongst these gentlemen almost as many viewpoints as there are heads. Instead of elucidating anything, they have only made confusion worse, by good fortune almost exclusively amongst themselves. The party can well dispense with educative elements such as these for whom it is axiomatic to teach what they have not learnt. Secondly, when people of this kind from different classes join the proletarian movement, the first requirement is that they should not bring with them the least remnant of bourgeois, petty bourgeois, etc. prejudices, but should unreservedly adopt the proletarian outlook. These gentlemen, however, as already shown, are chock full of bourgeois and petty bourgeois ideas. In a country as petty bourgeois as Germany, there is certainly some justification for such ideas, but only outside the Social Democratic Workers' Party. If the gentlemen constitute themselves a Social Democratic petty bourgeois party, they are fully within their rights. In that case, we could negotiate with them and, according to circumstance, form an alliance with them, etc. But within a workers' party, they are an adulterating element. Should there be any reason to tolerate their presence there for a while, it should be our duty only to tolerate them, to allow them no say in the party leadership, and to remain aware that a break with them is only a matter of time. That time, moreover, would appear to have come. How the party can suffer the authors of this article to remain any longer in their midst seems to us incomprehensible. But should the party leadership actually pass to a greater or lesser extent into the hands of such men, then the party will be emasculated no less, and that will put pay to its proletarian grit. So, what Marx and Engels are saying here essentially is that yes, there can be bourgeois converts and they can join the party. Now, what the party actually is, I think, looks very different from most communists. I don't envision a communist party with banners and flags and, a head honcho and a rank and file all lined up single file in, uniform. I don't think that's what communism is. I don't think it'll work like that. I think we right now here ourselves are the party. But yes, bourgeois can contribute to the communist movement, but this requires that they set aside all bourgeois prejudice. Now, this is interesting coming from Marx. Marx famously tried to run a man out of the German Social Democratic Party simply because he was a homosexual. Marx was not a great person either. He was kind of a shit-tier human being, as I should well know. But he imported some bourgeois prejudice into the movement as well, as did Engels, who was his accomplice in this. But there is a role for wealthy converts as long as they are not using socialism to advance their class interests. Unfortunately, all that these people do is use socialism to advance their class interests.